Are you looking to take the next step in your acting career? Here are some tips that'll help you out. Welcome to Inside Plug, the podcast where independent creators and entrepreneurs connect and inspire. I'm Devon Jones, a military veteran turned filmmaker. I found my spark in the military, and now I'm here to help you find yours. Inside Plug is a platform for your voice, stories to be shared, and ideas to flourish. Let's dive in and plug into creativity and entrepreneurship together. Today, on our show, we have actor Duc Dang. He was born in British Columbia, Canada, and he is an up-and-coming actor. Duc, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So I checked out your IMDb profile, and you have this short film that you worked on. So let's talk a little bit about the short film first. It is called Wynonna Earp Vengeance, and it said you played a busboy. So if you can tell us, how did you find that project, and how was that experience?
Right. My agency posted a job listing that I applied for, and it was for Wynonna Earp Vengeance, which is a 90-minute TV special, a little continuation of the show Wynonna Earp that lasted 4 seasons, I think. And it was actually my first unionized role with ACTRA, so I got my first credit from there as well. The experience from that was absolutely amazing. It was wildly different from like the non-union stuff where I had to figure a lot of things and do a lot of stuff on my own. And there's a lot of people to do a lot of things there. There's a big location, a lot of cool people to meet. And I was there for a while, but in terms of like actual doing things in front of the camera, I was there for maybe a good hour to do that. But it was a really good experience, and I only wish to know more about what it's like to be on union sets here and there.
Awesome. All right. So let's bring it back a little bit. We're gonna discuss a little bit more about the film, but you as an actor, what was it that inspired you to, acting, this is something that I want to do? Is this something that you discovered when you were younger, or is this something more recent?
I think it was always something that was of interest when I was younger, but I never thought of actually pursuing it because I thought it was an impossible sort of task. I thought it was like completely out of my reach, since I keep hearing that like, oh, Los Angeles is that place you need to go if you want to be an actor. But then it was actually a movie that got me to want to take that first step into going to the acting industry, where I saw a performance that it changed the way I thought how actors did their job. And that motivated me to take that drive to start doing that myself. So I did high school theater, I did musicals, some short films here and there. I taken acting classes, and I learned more about the industry. And I'm currently taking a filmmaking course, and I'm now knowing the ins and outs of how the industry works here and there. I'm not part of an agency. And it was always something that I wanted to be when I was younger, but then it wasn't up until maybe 6 years ago where I was like, I'm actually going to do it.
Nice. That's awesome. All right. So you mentioned that a film kind of, gave you that spark. Could you share what was that film, and was it like a particular scene? Was it a actor or actress? What was it that like gave you that light?
It was Marvel's Logan that changed how I thought of things. Because before, when I was younger, I used to watch superhero movies here and there, just like, oh yeah, it's a superhero, it's really cool. But I think that was the first movie where I was like, that there are performances that I didn't overlook. And specifically with Daphne Keenan's X-23, Laura, when Logan died and her character just started bursting into tears, just started monologuing to herself, that was a time where I was like, this is something that I want to do. This is kind of the stories that I want to tell, whether that's by making them or being a part of them.
Nice. Okay. And then you also mentioned that you're saying you're taking filmmaking courses. Could you share what filmmaking courses are you currently taking, and was this your first film course, or are you taking like a bunch of film courses?
This is my first film course. I'm taking filmmaking at SAIT in Alberta. I'm currently on my second semester here, and yeah, this was my first film course, and right now I'm learning a lot for just the first year.
Awesome, awesome. So for the listeners right now, being that you're a new actor, you're taking film courses right now, could you share a little bit about something that you learned maybe in the class or on the set of Winona Earp?
Right. Winona Earp. The things I learned from there is that everybody has a certain job to do, and everyone is really good at it, and no one should be questioned about that. With there was one time when I arrived on set, and one of the assistant directors wanted to show me to my trailer. I didn't know I was going to get one, and then so that was a bit of a shock to me. And then they asked me if they could bring me a coffee. I personally, I'm not much used to people having me getting me things for me to drink or eat. So it was very odd for me to be in that little situation. But as time went on with Winona Earp, I started to realize like this is what they're here for. This is what they want to do. This is what they worked and went to school for. So it was a bunch of realizing what kind of situation you're in while also being grateful for it as well.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. And if I can share a little bit about that's gonna connect with what you just said. Yeah, so let's just throw that umbrella out there, craft service. So I was just at a film summit here in San Diego, and on a panel, one of the panelists mentioned how important craft service is, for the actors, right? Because when you're an actor, you're taking your time out of your day to, participate, and be a vital piece of this film project that a writer, wrote the script for, that a producer gathered all these people and got this film equipment for, and you don't necessarily need to be on the set all the time, but when you're not on the set, you need to be taken care of as a human, right? So we need to make sure that we have food for you, drinks for you, make sure we have, to make you feel comfortable to where when we do need you, you're not like kind of like out of it and you feel welcome. So yes, definitely I understand where you're coming from with that. All right.
Okay.
Let's see here. So are you interested in certain genres? Or you have like a certain like direction that you want to go with your acting career? What are some like roles that you would say that you are driven to?
There are definitely genres that I'm more geared towards, mostly being either drama or a comedy. Comedies I would love to do because they're just a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to be a part of. And especially if it's like a situation where you can improvise. I think those are one of the best cornerstones of what makes an actor special and able to hone in on what they think a character should feel like. With a drama, I think the reason why I want to be part of those is because they force the actor to go in deeper to why the character thinks a certain way. And it makes an actor think about all the intentions of why the characters are even doing the slightest bit of action, because a little thing could always speak a lot. Even if it's like something that the audience won't get, let's say, like if it's an actor's intention or not, it's good for an actor to think about why the characters are already acting a certain way. And I think dramas are a good way to bring that out.
Nice, nice. All right. Could you share with us who would you say is your favorite actors or actresses?
Oh, Um, right now, Michael C. Hall is pretty up there. He played Dexter in the show Dexter. Um, I always liked how he was able to tell these little emotions and little inflections with his character Dexter, with just his mannerisms and eyes. And it's not much of a situation of acting, it's more of a situation of reacting with what's going on around you, with how your character is. And seeing him able to like flip a switch immediately and just fully engulf himself in the role, I do admire that.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So let's jump back in a little bit with the film courses. With this film course, has there been anything that you learned in the class that you would say you use on set?
There is something, yes, definitely. In class, we learned a lot about set etiquette, which is a big thing when you're on like actual film sets, so you know exactly how to act and what to do. So therefore, things can always run smoothly. So the more I learn about set etiquette at school, the more I apply it whenever I'm on film sets. And since I'm learning all the different roles of what there is on an actual film set, like a gaffer, camera operator, craft services, um, the more knowledgeable I am of that, the more I can become a professional on set. So therefore, I don't have to keep worrying to myself like, oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? I should, once I have that all honed in, I can just worry about what I'm doing there. And let's say like if I'm acting as a character, then I can worry about how am I going to act as that character? What am I going to do? My lines, instead of worrying about like, oh, am I am I standing in the wrong spot, or am I talking to the wrong person at the moment, and stuff like that.
Nice. Thanks for sharing that. So real quick, let's get yourself out there. How can people find you? How can they connect with you on social media? Where can they find some of your work at?
If people want to find me, there's always my Instagram username Duckaroo2, and I would say I'm mostly active there. I just give story updates if I'm doing something special or something like that. YouTube coming soon with productions. Well, it's not currently there yet, but it will be. And that's pretty much all where I am.
All right. So I think you kind of went into the next question I was going to say. So what next for you? Do you have any acting roles coming up next, or are you just going to continue with the film courses?
I do have something that's coming up next, but I'm afraid I can't talk about it. Right now, I'm finishing up my first year of film course, and then a little bit of a break, and then start my second year. I'm planning on expanding my acting classes a little more, see what resources there are here near me. And yeah, I'm going to keep doing what I love, and I don't think anything is going to stop me here.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely understand where, those NDAs come into play where you have to keep things out. Yeah, that's awesome though. You have something. All right. So I asked this question to all the guests. If you can choose a book, a TV show, or a movie to recommend to, aspiring actors or aspiring filmmakers in general, what's something that you would recommend? You can choose one from each category or just one overall.
What's something I can recommend to the audience to, like, what's a piece of media I could recommend to the audience?
Yes. So it can be a book,
I would say
a TV show, or a movie. Or what were you gonna say? What was your good chart?
Oh no, you're all good. In terms of like what I recommend for the audience to absorb in terms of media, I would recommend just watching. If whoever's watching is into filmmaking, I would just recommend watching movies that aren't traditional, and watch movies that are different. Like there's a whole traditional rules set of filmmaking, and there's a reason why they're there. It's because they work. But then when you watch those certain movies out there where they don't follow the rules all the way to a T, and it works, sometimes when you break the rules, it can fuel your passion and fuel your vision even more. So I definitely recommend watching like some European films who completely break the rules, or maybe just old, especially with old Chinese cinema is also a really good one. Just anything that can show you that things can be done differently, and not everything has to be so strict.
Nice, nice. All right. And also, so being an actor, you have to, get headshots, going for an audition. Have you had that experience with auditions, and could you share?
With auditions, at the moment, for me at least, is a lot of self-tape. So it's not much like it's not many where you walk into a room and you stand in front of a bunch of casting directors and producers, and they all judge you right in front, it isn't a natural setting for an actor, because like it's just a room. You can't really engulf yourself within your character. You feel it's a natural environment to feel a little judged. But then now with self-tapes, you have the time to prepare. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. You do not need a high budget camera. You can literally just use your phone. And with headshots, I do recommend reaching out there to maybe a few photographers just to get some done, just so you have something. It doesn't have to be so professional. Like, you don't need like a studio background or anything like that. It can easily be done outside with nice weather. But once you have all that set and able to find an agency, things should start falling into place slowly.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So before we end this interview, all right, so you have these aspiring actors. They're ready to step in the door for the audition, or they got the part and they're ready to step on set for, reciting their first lines. What's a piece of advice that you'll give them?
Do your best to always be prepared, especially with being on set. Even if like you're new, be prepared as much as you can. Even if you don't know some things, that is okay. Like 100%, that's fine. Just do your best to stay calm, collected. You're there for a reason. And if you're on a set for your first time, that's just you're one step closer to being where you actually want to be.
Awesome. I love it. There you go. You got it. Do your best. Be prepared. Get the part. All right. Thanks for tuning into Inside Plug. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and found it inspiring. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, and every creator has a story worth sharing. If you love what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on our YouTube channel at Inside Plug. That's Inside Plug with 2 G's. Also, we have a website, www.insightplug.com. That's insightplug, 2 G's.com. Until next time, keep creating. Devon Jones signing off. Stay inspired. Duc, thank you so much for joining the show today.
Thank you for having me.